We're going to make a scatter plot here on the calculator, and we're also going to compute the correlation coefficient, which measures the strength of correlation between two variables. So first I hit the Stat key and then Enter. This lets me edit the lists of values that are stored in the calculator. Now I'm going to use list 1 and list 2. These already have some numbers in them, so I'm going to go up onto the name of list 1, hit Clear, and then Enter. And the same thing for list 2. That will zero out these lists and let me put new values in. Here's the list of points that I'm going to use for this example. My x values are going to go into list 1. This is the 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, and 11. 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 11. And I'm just hitting Enter between each entry here. List 2 has the y values 5, 7, 12, 11, 15, 17. 5, 7, 12, 11, 15, and 17. I want to make sure my list 1 and list 2 are the same length and that I have the right correspondence between the x and y pairs. Now I'm ready to do my stat plot, so I quit out to the main screen. I want to go here to stat plot, which is the second function of the y equals key. There are 3 different plots I can use. I'm just going to use the first one. So I hit Enter, and I want to hit Enter while it's flashing on top of the word on. That turns this plot on so that I'll be able to see it. Arrow down to Type. There are 6 different types of plots we can make. We want the very first one, which is the scatter plot. So select that if it's not already selected, just by hitting the Enter key. List 1 and List 2 are where the x and the y values are going to be found, respectively. Now, if these are set wrong, you can always hit second and then one of the keys 1 through 6 to get a new list name here for it to look in. But I do want it to look at List 1 and List 2, so I'm going to leave those alone. The mark is the dot that will be placed on the screen for each point. The pixel, single pixel, is a little too hard to see. I kind of like using this box, so select that if it's not selected. Now we're going to hit Zoom, and before we do, there's one other thing we've got to do. We need to go to the y equals screen and make sure there are no other functions sitting in here ready to be plotted. Now we're going to hit the Zoom key, and we're going to go down to option number 9, which is called Zoom Stat. This sets the screen viewing area to exactly fit the points that I have put in. There is my scatter plot. And I can see from looking at these here that there's a nice positive correlation for these points. Now, in order to figure out the strength of the correlation, I'm going to go to Stat again, arrow over to Calc, and I'm going to go down to the 4th command here. It's called linreg, which stands for linear regression. This will compute for me in list 1 and list 2 the correlation strength between these two variables. And this R value is what I'm looking for. R can go from -1 to 1. -1 is the strongest possible negative correlation, and +1 is the strongest possible positive correlation. So with a 0.938, you can see that our x and y variables are very strongly positively correlated. And again, if you want to see this, you go to Stat, Calc, linreg. Here you can type in the name of lists if it's not 1 and 2 that you're looking at. And if you don't see the R value, you can go into your catalog and go down to the functions that start with S. And there's a function here called, no, it's not S. S is for Setup Editor if your lists aren't, list 1 and list 2 aren't in the editor. We want to go to the D's for turning the diagnostic on. There it is. And this will set it so that the R value always shows when you do the linear regression command.